Hello friends, good morning. I'm Chrissy. This is Questions for Dessert. And I am calling this video like Vlogmas Eve, Vlogmas Day 0, one of those two. Because this will go up on December 1st and the Vlogmas daily videos will actually start on December 2nd because I'll be recording starting December 1st. I never really understand how that math works. But if you are American and you celebrate, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving morning here for us. We've already had our family Thanksgiving. My husband goes out of town in the morning, has a long drive ahead of him. So we are at home. So we're in our chosen hometown without any family close by. And we are going to go out for a fancy lunch in just a few minutes. But let's talk about where I am with knitting, what my knitting plans are for this long weekend where I will be primarily alone and be able to knit to my heart's content. I noticed a few days ago that I was getting really irritated with not feeling like I was making any progress. So I decided to, instead of dabbling in a few different projects, to do a project until it was finished. And that project is the Dapperly Dashing Scarf by Stormy Trotteau. This is for my brother. And this project, it was like it flew off my needles until it was 60% done. And then it took forever. I started this on November 15th and I finished it today, November 27th. It is a beautiful pattern. It is a repeat it's a 4-row repeat. It is from Cascade 220. The color is 1917 Vinci. If you've been following along with my knit gift series, you'll already know, but in case you're new, I am trying to knit this year all of our gifts except for the consumables that we also make. And I am doing it 90 to 95%. You'll see why later, on yarn I already owned or yarn that I thrifted. And this was thrifted yarn. So today is Thursday. This is the stitch marker that I placed on Monday. And this is what I've done since then. So a little over half the length I've done between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning. I'm really glad to have it done. Ends are sewn in but not cut off because I've learned to wait until after I vlog to do that. So my plans for Vlogmas Day 0, Vlogmas Eve. I finished Nick's scarf this morning. I'm going to focus on one project this evening. I'm not sure if it is oldest niece. I'm making her the little Edie bonnet, or I'm making middle niece a granny hexagon cardigan. I'm not sure which one of those I'm going to feel like working on later, so I'm going to leave that up in the air. But the rest of the evening, once we get home from Thanksgiving lunch, we'll be focusing on one of those gifts. In my last video, you also saw that I made a swatch for my Christmas sweater, and I was off gauge. I guess my gauge is too small. I have too few stitches per inch. So I have too many stitches per inch. Anyway, my stitches need to be bigger. So first thing in the morning, I will do another swatch for my sweater and get it set to block. And then I'll spend the rest of Friday and Saturday doing the other niece gift, hopefully getting both of those finished. And then Sunday I will start the collar and the pre-color work knitting for my Christmas sweater, so that when I open my first Advent mini skein on the 1st, I'll be ready to just get that work started. So scarf for brother, done. Hoping to get both niece 1 and 2 gifts done before Sunday. Casting on my Advent sweater so that it's ready to go for color work Monday morning, and then letting the gifts for sister-in-law, best friend, and Mr. Best Friend just happen during the month of December. I really wanted to get those done during November, but then as I started to look at all of the gifts that are piling up in my gift basket, I was like, girl, be proud of what you've done. So I'm okay. I'm okay. I trust that everything will be fine. If I get a little behind on my Advent sweater, it's not going to be the end of the world. These are just my intentions. This isn't a to-do list. But right now, I gotta go because we gotta watch Santa come through for the parade, and then we head on for fancy Thanksgiving lunch. It is Friday morning. My husband is en route to Milwaukee. I've got my sweetest co-host slash knitting buddy here with me this morning. And this is what I plan on today looking like. But first, let's talk about yesterday, because yesterday was a really, really good day. We had reservations at a restaurant here in town. It's the restaurant in the Manchester Hotel. The restaurant is called Grand Am. If any of you watched last season of Top Chef, Paula Indara was one of the contestants, and she's the chef of this restaurant. So we were really excited to get to go back. We've been multiple times, but this was the first time we had been back since she had been on the show. So that was really exciting. Everything was delicious. The service was great. We had really entertaining people around us. It was just a top-notch time. And I was able to get some work done yesterday. I was able to get the full bottom ribbing done on the little Edie bonnet. I love this. Like, I am already thinking about who else I can make one for, and what color I would use if I made one for myself. This morning I was able to get some work done on one of the ribbons for the bonnet. This is about a little less than half of the width of one of these ribbons. So my plan for today is this. I have a friend coming over this evening for dinner. So there are a few things I need to do around the house, just the standard maintenance cleaning things that we do when we have company. I have like a smidge of work to do, like 20 minutes. I don't know why I didn't do it Wednesday evening, but I have this much work to do. I would like to finish this bonnet, and I would like to make the second swatch for my Advent sweater. So bonnet, swatch, pick up around the house. It is a little before 9. I really thought I was going to get out today, do some tea and coffee shops type experience, but then I realized that the only way to get from the geographical part of town where I am and the geographical part of town where I would want to go is through Black Friday traffic, and I'm not about that life. So we're going to maybe make another cup of coffee, make some tea here at home. I think I'm gonna lay low today. Also, my couch is really cozy and the light is really, really great. It may not be for vlogging. Like, I realize I'm making the shadow on Albus's head in the couch, but it just feels lovely to hang out in. So I've already done my little knitting spurt. Now I'm going to do a chore and then knit and then chore, etc., etc., etc. So let's get today started. What do you say, Albus? What you say, buddy? All right, let's go make the bed. Okay, friends, so there was a small change of plans from this morning. So my intention for today was to work until like lunchtime on the little Edie bonnet and then make my swatch and then call it a day. However, part of the swatch issue is I need to go to the next set of bigger needles. And guess what I was using for the little Edie bonnet? That's right, the next size up of needles. So instead of taking the needles off and putting the needles back on and different cords and blah, 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 I'm like, I am just going to finish the bonnet. I'll do the swatch first thing in the morning. It'll block tomorrow. I will be able to start my sweater on Sunday. It's fine. Today's Friday. It's cool. December 1st is Monday. It's chill. I mean, I'm not like trying to convince myself here. I'm just like acknowledging it's fine. So the little Edie bonnet is done other than being pieced together. And because the ribbons are so tight, I'm going to block it first. But my brother's scarf is currently on the blocking mats. So we're good. We're good. So this is the bonnet in 3 pieces. Oh my gosh, I just love the way the stitch is picked up there. And then these are the 2 ribbons. I love this so much. I think it's so beautiful. And I still have this much yarn left over. So when I made my first sweater, my step-by-step sweater by Florence Miller, I bought the amount of yarn that the pattern told me to buy. Yes, I made the sweater maybe like 3 inches shorter, tops, than the pattern said. But I've gotten a cowl and a scarf and now this, and I still have this much left. So I am just working my little Santa's elf fingers to the bone. I am going to, in case I don't come back this evening, my new friend Heather is coming over. I've got dinner to cook, and then tomorrow, first thing, we start on the swatch. Merry Vlogmas Eve weekend, friends. Hello, sleep friends. Good morning. It is Saturday. It is around 9 o'clock. I was up early as usual because that's what my body does this morning. I have the video up to this point edited, which feels like a massive win. Last night was such a good time. I love making new friends, and we talked about Reiki, and we read tarot, and we made dinner, and it was just a lovely time. So Heather, thank you so much. This morning, I led a meditation for my Reiki householders group. Forgive the quality of the video. It's what came from the Zoom download. I know it's not great, but it was important to me for that to be included since that is such a big part of my daily life at this point. We are continuing that through December with a reduced frequency of meetings because of all the things we have to do. But in January, we will pick up again with our twice a day, most days, twice a day weekday, once a day weekend, Reiki meditations. So I am settling in today for a day of knitting and dance. I've got the video feed pulled up to be able to watch my husband and my friends dance all day long. So I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'm going to pull up the feed from my computer to my big TV. I'm going to get the things together that I need for my gauge swatch for my sweater. And I'm going to sit with my kitty cat and drink tea and knit most of the day. I'm probably going to repeat the same lunch I had yesterday. I'm glad I remembered to tell you about it. So years ago, 10 years ago or so, I did yoga teacher training in Nashville. And there was a coffee shop right down the street called Bongo. And they served this bagel sandwich. I don't know if it's still on the menu or not. I haven't looked. But this bagel sandwich called the East Nasty. And it was bacon, egg, cheese, cream cheese, and tomato. And it's such a good sandwich. So that's what I made for myself yesterday. That's probably what I'll have again today. Dance, knit, tea. That sounds like a good day to me. Good morning, friends. It's Sunday. It is a little before 9. I am making yogurt and waiting for my milk to come up to temperature. I was going to wait and do this check-in until, I was showered and ready to go. But I'm like, I gotta stand here and babysit this milk, so why not catch you up from here? I was up way too late last night following up on the results of my husband's dance competition. I'm usually a 8 o'clock bedtime person, and I was up until like 11:30. So I did sleep in a little, which felt good, and I was honestly surprised that I could do. So let's talk about what we got accomplished yesterday. The first thing is my brother's sweater is off of the drying mats, and it is beautiful. It fuzzed up just a little. It stretched in both width and length. Isn't it pretty? I really like it. I think he will too, but I'm taking it off because it's hot in my kitchen. Let's stir and check the temperature. So this is the first swatch for my Advent sweater. My gauge is way off. I'm way too tight here. So I did a second gauge, this going up half a needle size, this going up a full needle size. I knitted and blocked this yesterday. I haven't measured it yet, but I will. If you are Kaylee, stop watching here. So for my sister-in-law, I knew I wanted to use the yarn that I bought for the mood blanket from TL Yarn Crafts last year. Did I do the mood blanket? I started it, but I didn't finish it. And when I opened up the bag to get the yarn, I realized that maybe I could use what I had already done to start a cowl. So this is as far as I got in the mood blanket last year. I was sewing in the ends as I went even. It was so good. So last night I added this much. I am just drawing randomly from the bucket, it's a bag, from the bag of yarns. And my plan is to do a few more rounds and then join this together in the round. And then do a few decreases every 4 or 5 rows coming up. So even though it fits like this now, that this part will gradually get smaller. It'll be something I totally do by eye. I just don't even know where to start trying to make this a pattern. And I sure wasn't taking half of this apart. So I'm really pleased that I kind of accidentally have a project about a third done. And I just realized that probably made a big noise on my mic. I'm sorry. So let's talk about my plans for today as I wait for my hot milk to cool. I am going to take a shower. I'm going to do my typical morning things around the house, probably do some Reiki. I'm going to head over to our co-op to get something for lunch and to pick up things for dinner. And I'm also going to run through our local yarn store to get some more wool wash because I'm almost out. All right, friends, let's have a little chat. I did not run the errands that I said I was going to run because I realized I didn't need to run them. And the reason that I wanted to run said errands was to avoid starting my sweater. I needed stuff to make chili, to make a white chicken chili, but there was no reason why I had to go across town for the co-op to do that. I needed something to depill Opal the woolly jumper, but that did not require going to the yarn store. So I sat myself down and I asked myself, why do we think we need to do this? And I realized that I am afraid of starting my Advent sweater. Even though I have a successful sweater that's come off my needles, even though I've done the research, I've got the plan, I've got my yarn figured out, I was nervous to get started. So in the spirit of what I ask my clients to do in therapy, and in the spirit of one of my intentions with Reiki is finding freedom from worry, I asked myself what I was so worried about. And that's exactly my question. What am I worried about? And these are my answers. That the sweater won't fit, that there'll be gathering on the sides of the color work, and that I'll get behind. Then my next question to myself was, are any of these things not fixable? And the answer to that question is no. If the sweater doesn't fit, I will figure that out soonish because it is top down. I can try it on along the way. If the sweater doesn't fit, even if I get the whole thing made and it doesn't fit, I can rip it all out and start again. My second issue, gathering on the sides of the color work, which would mean I'm using the wrong needles, which again, I can put an emergency cord in, I can lay it out, I can check for gathering along the way. This is something that I will not know until I'm into the sweater anyway, right? Like I can make my best guess, but I won't really know until I know. So that's a worry that I don't need to prevent me from starting. Then the third thing is I'm afraid I'm going to get behind. Behind what? I know there is no way I'm going to finish this sweater in the month of December anyway. In a perfect world, if things go along a perfect timeline, I would get the color work section done at the end of Advent by Christmas. But who knows, right? The last few Decembers, I've gotten sick or had major dental work or both. Many people do not use their Advent minis during Advent. I think I started this expectation to do that because I did last year, but I don't know that that's not reasonable. So if I do get behind, that's fine. It's really hard to be the oldest daughter, to have the expectation to just figure things out the first time and be a knitter. And I really think that's part of what knitting is really teaching me, is how to try things, how to invest time and energy in something that may not work and that I may need to rip back, and to be comfortable not only potentially failing, but to be comfortable fixing the failure and to not assign moral value to that. So that's why I knit. So let's cast on this sweater. Hello, friends. So I was talking earlier about wanting to stay on time and what would happen if I got behind. The joke's on me because I'm going to be behind. I don't know why I was thinking that I could do the collar and do the color work in fingering weight yarn in an afternoon, because 2 hours in and I'm not even halfway through the collar. So there's no way I'm going to get to the space to start collar work tomorrow. And that's okay. If anything, honestly, that's like a huge weight off. So I'm watching YouTube. I'm stirring the soup every 15 minutes. We'll eat when Nathan gets home, and just working. Friends, thank you for hanging out with me this weekend. It has been a whirlwind. My husband should be home in like 20 minutes, and I cannot wait. Vlogmas starts tomorrow. I was gonna walk you through today the two Advent calendars that I have, but I figured I will just do that in the morning when I open the first day. I will give you like a little teaser and say that one of them is handmade by my best friend, and the other one was chosen for me by the person who is the closest thing I have to a sister. Thank you so much again for keeping me company on this weekend where my husband was gone and my family was out of town, and it could have been really lonely, but talking to you kept me company. So happy Vlogmas Eve, and I will see you on December 2nd with December 1st's vlog. Happy Advent, friends.